Oh yeah, welcome back to the baby crew. We are back in the dark zone, back in the dark realm, back in the dark zone, back in the dark realm. And today on the solo quest, it's a boss episode where we boss it up, getting some ore. Gotta go back to the past as well. The past to discuss, past occurrences that we go through. Over here in version 3.3, you gotta go collect some ores to get the moon back to its wonderful state in the past. To get to the past, we have to go human again. So we're gonna be Lucas here. And today in the podcast realm, I'm gonna be talking about growth and the general way society leads us to grow, how you can break out of that. And to connect that to Dragon Quest here, there are some incentives to grow that have also been a little bit warped by our minds, but in general, the morals, I'd say, the wholesome things of the story is that the incentive to grow is friends, is friendship, is relationships. Truly valuable relationships. Because a lot of people would say, I have so many friends, but we're looking for good ones. Good, valuable gems. We're looking for SSSRs. And society's gonna lead you to believe it's just gotcha. It's just random chance. You just gotta keep pulling. I'm like, that's not really how it works in real life. It's more like this game. You gotta work for them. You gotta train them up. But mostly you just gotta train yourself up and do your thing. But hey guys, welcome in. Subscribe. Give a like. I love ya. It's the Koopa. It's a solo quest. Hope you guys have been enjoying. We are almost 240 subscribers. We just got another subscriber. We're 38 strong, baby. I don't know where all you guys are coming from, but I appreciate each and every one of you for stopping by. Hope you've been enjoying the music as well. I do love making that. And more to come. Just content, because that's all that really fuels my purpose nowadays. Anyways, going here to the past, essentially we have to just do a quest. We're gonna kill like a stone golem or whatever in the mountains. But story wise, going to do the story spoiler review here. Urju, good old Prince Urju, has gone through some growth. He's been through society. Shit has beaten him down. The world has slapped him on his booty cheeks, and he has grown. And in this one, you're going to see him act like less of an asshole, more of an accountable guy who, does what he can, where he can. And the sage guys are more behind his back. They're more, willing to help him because he's trying to help himself. So it's a little bit of a growth arc here. And we'll get a little bit more of backstory. Or I guess what do you call that in a story? I don't know. Details about Fostel, little character details about Fostel and how he truly is a true companion, or they are. I don't really know the gender or whatever. But yeah, criminal that they are not in Astargia. Astargia. It's a version 7 event thing, but it is still updating. So who knows? The new character Fostel might be in there. That would be lit. We need Fostel, and then we need who's the mayor of the Puku? I don't know what his name is. I forget right now. Anyways, so yeah, incentives. See, the thing about life, and the thing about growth in general, and why people get so disgusted with so many ways of making money and capitalistic tendencies and whatnot, is because the easiest and fastest way to grow is usually poisonous, usually toxic, usually demonic in some negative way. The power is easily gotten from evil means, and then because it's easy, it seems like everybody's doing it, because you don't really hear about the people doing it in the hard ways. People aren't talking about random YouTube playthroughs on CBS. It's not happening. And as far as that goes, a lot of that delayed gratification stuff never works and never will work for people because there's so many factors that have to go into it, and so many luck things that have to go into it, and so many right people need to be in your life. So the thing is, the internet has given us so many amazing options, but it also cripples the smart ones and the dumb ones. It cripples the smart ones with the amount of options because they can't lock in, but the dumb ones think they have the right option and lock in on it, and then because of one particular thing is off, they'll never make it. But if the right, drop in the pond is there, it will happen. One thing that I was really pissed off at in marketing school was that there's really no formula, and maybe I was kind of stupid to think this, but there's really no formula to truly succeed in online marketing. Truly, it is consistency, brand knowledge, and networking. Nepotism. Oh, good old nepotism. You just gotta know people. And have multiple platforms, connect with multiple platforms is an important thing. For some reason, your audience doesn't double when it goes from platform to platform. And we've seen this from research. It actually kind of quadruples because that cross-platform communication is also being taken in from data. And but I'm getting too tech. I'm being a nerd. I'm sorry. Anyways. What I was getting to, the evil ways are easier, right? That's the whole reason why, we have all these amazing stories about the hero's journey and the abyss and all that shit, because evil has to rise first. But people don't want to, go through that whole process of letting evil rise and fall and do all this bullshit. Because that sounds like work. And there are a lot of evil ways to succeed now. And even a lot of the good ways can easily be corrupted by evil ways along the way. Who knows if this is even a holy operation at this point. Who really cares, honestly? And the fact that I feel like I really don't want power, like I've said before. I would love for this to be a very small channel for like the next 5 years, because you're really not supposed to make money on YouTube. And if I'm being honest here, guys, I'm just creating this to generate a global footprint for the AI revolution. Soon you will not be able to tell if this is an AI Let's Play or not. It's gonna be crazy. But essentially, what we need to understand is that without that power of purpose, that creator's instinct, that incentive for actual good, there's no reason for us to fight. And I didn't really get that growing up. A lot of people were more incentivized by like wealth and fame and all of these sort of things that kind of are away from growth, because that stagnates you. Essentially, it's just an O. It's just a bill that says I am indebted to the government by this much, and now you are. Take this, and I deserve product for it. And essentially, it's not something you should chase. Now, those possessions that then in turn bring you value, I do understand that, but on the top of that, people get the possessions to give them the value of looking good to someone else, and I'm like, that's not a real value. That's something on top of what's on top of, which is your ego. You got to really look within and be like, what's gonna fuel me to get up in the morning again? And it can't just be how much attention you're getting, how much human souls you're draining. I feel like to truly capitalize on that is to get away from what truly makes us human. It's the inner, the power that we have within us, because that's what this internet is truly magnifying. It's telling us that this world within our minds is endlessly huge and complicated. The internet can't even come close to how deep it is. So now it's telling us, be distracted and use this instead. Fuck your mind. Literally. Use our mind. Right? So those are all the bad incentives and shit. But we'll switch gears a little bit, and I'll talk about the good incentives while talking about this game. You see Urgy here, and in Fostel had a little dialogue about commitment, and about his strength and where he's come from. He's gonna talk to the other sages off screen. They're gonna have a good time. But like I've said earlier, when we were at the castle, the real drive to do this, to do good, is pretty much, I don't want to say it all robotically like, a businessman, but it pretty much is your network, or rather your relationships, or rather the connections you have with the true human beings in your life. And a lot of people take this as a quantity over quality thing. I say it's very, very, very much the opposite. Very, very, very much the opposite. Because we all have crazy thoughts, crazy whims, and we're all very unique people, especially because of these algorithms and internet and what we feed to ourselves, and thus what the government, the Googles, whatever, is controlling to feed to us. It's very easily to get radicalized in our own viewpoints unless we have a really good friend group, connection to something that defines us. And of course, just like all of these things in life, it can of course get corrupted. But I really feel like that is the core incentive to like grow and be a good person. It's like to connect and grow, to be with other good people. And then the horrible thing about life now is that it's becoming harder and harder to find those good people. I know, especially for me, as someone who moved basically right before the pandemic, and then everybody was inside. It's very hard to find awesome thumbs up, happy time people post pandy. I don't know about you. Going outside don't feel right anymore, and that may be because of my habits have secluded me more. But you have to take ownership for what you're doing to yourself. And I don't see a lot of that nowadays. I don't see a lot of people taking ownership for what they actually have done to their lives, because we really are doing this all to ourselves. I mean, of course, the government is leading us to the poisonous water, but we don't have to drink it. Sure, whoever's going to lead you to whatever, but you still have to pick up your phone and look at it. You still have to pick up and type the hate comment. You still have to, like the post of the hot Instagram girl. You still have to physically do it. One of the craziest things about my journey with the coping with the prawn shit, and I promise I'll stop talking about this so much, but it's something I'm coping with now. I suppose looking back on this, I'll be like, God damn, that guy was kind of obsessed. That's kind of crazy. But one of the small things I've realized is just like I just have to go to bed, because usually when I go to bed and wake up, right, I just have to go to bed with my phone not by my bedside. Sometimes it's the simplest things. But yeah, you got to realize you're doing it to yourself, and that's okay. But the lack of accountability is really what's killing us. That's what leads us away from our purpose. Because if we were just honest and decided to grow from where we are instead of looking up, then we wouldn't be led to these bad incentives, these shortcuts. Because there are no fucking shortcuts. One of the things I like about this playthrough is that it takes a long time to do this. It takes a long ass time. There are no shortcuts to this. And of course there are kind of shortcuts. I could character delivery. I could, add a couple slots. I could. But I'm intentionally taking the long road because there's value to that. I know there's value to that. Kendrick taught me that. Many things have taught me that. And I've decided to finally listen to my intuition and stop listening to the thousands of people around me that tell me this is how you should grow. This is how you should grow. This is how you should grow. Like I remember, one of my musician friends were like, "Oh, you can't release this. This is a sample on an album. You can't do that." Just the small things like that. And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. No, that's not gonna lead me anywhere. You can't. You mean like you can, but your own intuition has merit as well. And for the longest time, man, you can't be humble forever. No one's meant for that. Sometimes we have to wise up and realize our own voice, should dictate at least a few things in our life. Maybe. Perhaps, right? And realizing that the incentive for bad is so easy, and a lot of times, when people are telling you to do things, it's usually the bad thing, because once again, the incentive to bad is a shortcut, and some people just want to, see if you can get the shortcut, knowing it'll be bad for you. They can capitalize off it, and they don't have to do that bad shit. It's more of like a deeper plot of society, because the community, of course, is what it's about, but people realize that too on a more deeper level, and they try to just latch on to someone who they know is going to go somewhere and not grow themselves. It's kind of an insidious thing. It's an insidious thing to think about, surely, too. Because then you're just gonna, have this narcissistic take and be looking at everybody like the Spider-Man meme. It's terrible, but this is the reality. And if we want to be blind to it and say nobody's gonna do that to me, I'll feel like all those girls that think they have like legitimate like guy friends that like them for who they are as a person. It's like, no, I mean, of course that's probably a part of it, but I'm still here for porking. I'm still here just in case you break up with your ex or your whoever. That's why most guys are there. I don't believe it, and the bad is just too easy to fall into, is essentially the problem now. Like it's the bots, the robots give us the shortcut, and all the shortcuts are bad. I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. All the shortcuts are really bad. You want to take the long road in almost every general nature in life, except for, the corporate ladder. Corporate ladder shortcuts are great. Nepotism is basically the only way to get there nowadays. There are no young aspiring CEOs at Twitch. There never will be. The company's probably going to shift directions, if you know what I mean. But you cannot be concerned about that. For some reason, people have just like blown out the part of their mind that says, hey, what if I just shut the fuck up and grind? What if that works? And they're like, oh, I did it for 6 months. It's worked. It's not working. I gotta stop. I'm like, what? You stupid? Are you stupid? Like, it's kind of a meme at this point where people treat the corporate ladder like it's some psyop, but they'll watch thousands and thousands of porn videos, just destroying themselves. I mean, they're both doing the same thing. They're just controlling you. It's a little weird, a little weird how we can connect them and they'll seem seemingly different. But yeah, we got to talk about incentives, because growing up, it was trying to tell us that all these bad incentive things were, they were going to help us and help us cope, and you'll grow to the top faster, and all this bullshit, and just lie. That's how you get good things. I'm like, no. Man, if I get all the way up there by lying, I just want to live a lie? That sounds terrible. What would the money be for? You're going to crash out like a ditty. Like, I feel like there's no point in doing something or being incredibly good at something you hate. So why are we so good at, finding 8,000 porn videos that are fantastic when we're going to hate ourselves when we're done, busting on our chests? And it's the same with the corporate structure, man. If you really like something in life, and I'd say go back to your childhood. If you really like something in life, if this is what you could do, you're on your deathbed, 20 minutes, what you're going to do, then I'd say monetize it, Monetize it, or work towards that goal. That's what you really want to do in life. Or find some other bullshit that you can just turn your brain off of and think about, what you really want to do. The unemployment cycle is crazy. It's crazy. So I prayed for all you guys to find a wonderful job, something that you love. That's what I'm working towards. Right now, I'm looking towards the janitorial industry, because I kind of just want to walk in. I kind of just want to work out. I just got back from workout this morning here. Actually, it's 7:46, and I guess I'll read off my my stats. You like to see number go high. So let's see what we're doing here. Yeah, so 7:46. Got 39 heart points, and I walked 2.66 miles. I don't know what 39 heart points is, but it says 54 move minutes. That was like it's like an hour-long walk or so. Hour, like 15 minutes. But yeah, man, it's just people really don't like working, and I don't think that's a problem. Like, I don't think we're all meant to work. If I'm being real, there are some people that, like, you're just not meant to be in the workplace, like, at all, and you should probably stop. But with the whole, like, you could solve this whole debate with one chart. You just look at the global wages and then the global, like, product efficiency or energy consumption, you know what I'm saying, or products produced or whatever the fuck. It's crazy how efficient we got when feminism started and women entered the workplace, because they weren't paying them as much, but hell did we get way more efficient with everything. With literally every industry. We got way more efficient when the women started working, because like there are more bodies. Like, why would we not get more efficient? But yeah, the wages didn't increase at all. Then why would they? You know, everybody was hella sexist. So we're paying, they used to be, you know, of course there's no wage gap now. You know, we're seeing that's just because girls generally choose different jobs. In fact, they're more educated now. So the ones who are earning higher are earning way higher. It's kind of like it balanced out the same way intelligence did, if you want to say it that way. You know, with guys, there's a lot more smart guys and a lot more dumb guys. But with girls, there's more of like a balance of, there's a lot more middle intelligence women. And the same with jobs, it kind of balanced out where there's a lot more middle earning guys. But the girls, you know, there's a lot very, very poor, and there's a lot very, very rich. And so what's funny about this is because of the way the feminist movement changed things, really. The incentive to really get into a loving relationship and family and community, like, because that's your real community, like your family, is kind of gone, because that's not really what girls want nowadays. You know, it's not really like we're all chasing the bag because they're allowed to work now. So like, we're allowed to work, so we gotta be the best, or you know, whatever. But it's not really their fault. You know, it's not really one person's fault. Of course, the government has a huge hand in this, because, you know, they kind of fucked over everyone, not rising the wages and putting all the money towards military and fighting other people, while everybody here is kind of broke and being controlled by porn. But I feel like the dramatic thing in my life is just the realization that the shift has been happening, and me sort of deluding myself to thinking that, you know, we're going towards great things with the Obama administration or whatever. You know, they've really distracted me with that shit. But that's all the world really is. It's just a distraction from what's truly happening around us. I really don't want this to be like a whole Apocalypse Now channel or whatever. Let me turn the speaker off. Yeah, I don't want it to turn into that, but I have been watching quite dystopian things just because I like thinking about things. I like compelling topics, and a lot of the compelling topics nowadays are quite grim. And a lot of people are saying it's the end of times, it's the end of, you know, days or whatever, kind of like the 2012, you know, thing. Y2K and whatnot again. You know, the whole cycle is happening once more. I say 2025, year of the truth. If it's really happening, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out by December, of course. I will say things are heating up in America, in Japan as well. Just all around the world. Iran. You know, Israel is going crazy. Spain is going crazy with the revolutions. People are just mad that things seem very unfair governmentally, you know? Things are unfair and people are running away and going to places that seemingly will be fair, and still being treated unfairly, you know? And of course the bad actors, because it's so easy to do bad things, they're having a field day, man. You know how many ways there are to do illegal things nowadays? There's so many ways. So yeah, it just seems very scary. It seems very scary to even try to be someone good, or even someone who tells the truth. You don't have to be a good person to tell the truth. And as a matter of fact, a lot of good people decide not to. We're seeing that with the Epstein shit, you know? I'd say some good people involved in the Epstein shit are not telling the truth. Would you believe that? Would you believe that? It's a true fact. But the fact of the matter is, leading with good is very scary. It's the hero's journey. And some motherfuckers make it to the abyss and they're like, hey, not for me, man. Not for me, man. This shit getting a little crazy. I'm gonna start being fake. I'm gonna not make it to the end. Cause y'all crazy. And I get that. One thing I've sort of realized about fear and discomfort is that I kind of like that shit. You know, like I'm kind of like hungry for that shit, but it always felt like I was weird for wanting it. So I have to numb that pain. But I remember back at my last job, I came there. I want to say I was like an hour early or so. And I wouldn't say it was like a big day, but you know, that day was an important day for some reason. You know, we're not going to give the reason or whatever, but it was an important day. So I came there early, right? And my boss shows up a little later, and then he's like, oh, DeMarcus, you weren't supposed to come in. You tell me. He kind of, you know, showed up at me a little bit, whoa energy, a little bit of that spicy energy. And I was so taken aback because I was already in the middle of doing something. You know, I was kind of trying to fix something or whatever. And then I'm like, oh yeah, hold on, give me a second, because I had to pause because he usually doesn't come at me with that energy. But then something in me like ignited, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm scared, I'm fearful, but I want more of this. So, you know, I kind of like just led into that. You know, we went into the back, and I was like, you know, hey, do you really have something to tell me about me? You know, coming in early, or you're doing whatever, or being weird, blah, blah, blah. And I kind of wanted, yeah, not like wanted the smoke, but I wanted the confrontation that I've been fearing and hiding from all the time. And I feel like the distractions, the control, is all of this, you know, all the YouTube, all the gaming, all the Instagram, social media, prawn, all this kind of numbs us to those moments, to where we don't, whenever we feel some kind of anxiety like that, you know, especially for something that, you know, is not a bad thing for you, that you should totally challenge. You're kind of like, let me just let it go. Let me just get in the bag. I don't want that confrontation. But I was like, no, I came here early. Shit needed to be done. I asked my other boss if I could come in early and clock in. She said yes. And then he comes in and he's kind of mad at me. He just came at me with this energy. He was like, why are you here? Kind of type shit. And I'm like, well, why are you late? But I didn't say that, of course. I just went in the back and I was just like, well, you know, what is the problem? What is the issue? And then, of course, it was kind of defused from there. But essentially, there's power in that. And a lot of people will convince you that you really don't need that power to succeed. You know, that's kind of disruptive masculine energy. But I'd say a well-balanced aura that just doesn't take bullshit is important sometimes. So this is a very good cutscene. After we get the ore, a wonderful friend is trying to take away our girl, but we're about to cure her, so you can't do that. And once again, this just lets you know that your friends are always there for you. At least your true friends. The problem with neurosis and things like that is that you really don't know who your true friends are sometimes. You really have to take a back seat to some things to truly realize what is going on. Because it's funny that times like this really confuse you as well, in game and out of game. Because, you know, I don't feel like that last work environment was necessarily a bad or toxic one. I just feel like there was a lot unsaid. There's a lot unsaid, you know, both sides. And because of that, just resentment builds. Resentment builds, confusion builds, and then people just fill in the blanks because what else are you supposed to do? Like what else am I supposed to get at? You know, like I have to do something with this Netflix series. I'm like, I have to fill it in, so people fill it in. And you know, sometimes you don't like the narrative that they set. Doesn't matter. You know, at least for me, I'm done correcting rumors. But yeah, the thing is, people will believe what they want to believe, and I respect people who take actions for, you know, what they want in their life. And I didn't realize that I'm not really taking actions for what I want in my life, yet I have all this respect for people who do. You know, that's ridiculous. So, you know, eventually, you gotta run. You gotta take a stand. You gotta dash away. You know, accelerado on that bitch. I really do love this fight scene, though. I think this may be what I'll do for the intro here, probably. Very kosher, very kosher. Reminds me of some DBZ shit. I think there's a couple more fights where they use the spells and stuff in the game like that again, but This is one of the very first amazing ones. Version 3 and onward, the cutscenes will get better and better. I assure you. I assure you, my friend. Just like the episodes will get better and better, the opportunities will get better and better. You have to have this abundance mindset. The problem with life is all these distractions can, like, really convince us that, you know, it's over for us. I'm cooked. Just like I told you, man, my algorithm right now is very negative. It's very negative. You know, I'm someone who likes that. But, I don't know where you go nowadays to find, you know, a positive, convincing, courageous force. You know, that's not what this is. It's just a thinking channel. You know, maybe you're encouraged by how long I've been doing this. Maybe you're encouraged by, you know, the effort for the music or the, you know, the fantastical upload schedule. You know, however you are empowered, I hope you hold on to that because, or at least treasure it for now, because I feel like a lot of hope is endangered. It's not extinct, as some may think. But hope is definitely becoming an endangered species. Endangered species of hope! You know what? I had a wolf dog at one point called Hope. I think he killed ducks that I had. Family and stuff. I don't know. Core memory just appeared. Alright, but bro is leaving now. Remember the evil will is closer than you think. That's true. That's true. Like I said, guys. Friends, foes, we really don't know. We really don't know. And that's okay. You're gonna attract, you're gonna repel, you're going to get attached to what you're supposed to get attached to. And that's all that, you know, really fucking matters. You have to trust yourself and trust your own intuition. We all got different levels, different ranks of the intuit category of intuit power. So truly respect that. Truly respect other people's. You know, don't lock motherfuckers out. You know, don't block your blessings because everybody else has their own intuition too. You know, you just have to let people choose. A lot of people are crazy instant gratification gooners though. So, give people time to make their decisions. Oh my goodness, stop alarm. Good old 8 a.m. So now that we're finished with the cutscene, acquainted with our incentives to grow, and you know, truly connected with ourselves, you're really gonna find those people. I hope so. This is sort of like a message to me. Hopefully, I'll watch this 2026 and be very happy about the state of my life. Who knows? Maybe I'll be even in a worse place, and then I'll grow back to something maybe in the middle. Maybe closer to where I was right now. Because right now, I'm feeling pretty chill. You know, save my friends. They may be still knocked out now, but they'll be back. We'll be back. But yeah, I would say general moral is that that's what we're here for. You know, we're here for the true incentive to grow. Is just the relationships we're building. It was family, but nowadays a lot of girls, at least in the West, aren't looking for that. So you really just have to get your money up and really just do what you want to do to get your money up. People I know the evil stuff is easy to do. I know. Well, believe me, I know. I did some of it, and I realized this is not for me. But we're not gonna get into, you know, my skeletons in my closet. You know, I feel like this is probably a skeleton too. Shit, Nintendo's gonna get my ass. We all know Nintendo's gonna get my ass. Come on, man. That's why I didn't buy a Switch 2. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want that on my account. I don't even want that near me. I don't even want a Switch 2 in my vicinity. I see that shit in GameStop and I wince. And I go, ooh, holy water, holy water. Holy water, holy water. Switch 2, holy water, holy water. Okay, but seriously, I think you should really vote with, you know, what you want in life, you know? So if you're an avid YouTube watcher, If you like videos like this, pick up a controller, motherfucker. It's Let's Play time. If you like reaction videos, you know, you can watch a YouTube video. If you like documentaries, you know, learn editing. You can just read, because crazy thing, guys. Reading is like YouTube video, but in book form. It's insane. And then you can start writing a book. There are so many ways to just elevate it, you know? I know us YouTube watchers feel like we can just do nothing but YouTube away. But everything can be a career. It just depends on what you feel validated by doing. And stop looking for that validation in the people around you. It's gotta be from your soul. I would say just start something, throw it out there. Don't tell nobody about it. Don't tell nobody about it. Don't tell nobody about it. 2 years in, maybe tell somebody about it. Okay, you know, it don't matter what you do. But yeah, and of course, if you're a vice chaser, a vice racer, go deep in those vices. Destroy yourself in your mind. I don't care what it is. If it's the tequila, then you gonna have a tequila tower every night. Night? Who cares? I don't know what the fuck you said. You know, you have to destroy yourself to build yourself. So I'd say you gotta start from the bottom. Drake style. And of course, that shit is fun. So, you know, get it out while you can. Of course, the problem with that is a lot of people of the feminine variety have been deciding that their vice will be sex with other people. And that's a very permanent way to fuck up your life. You know, porn also is. But yeah. Yeah, I'm a guy, so I'm sorry. That sounds nasty to me. That's nasty. But of course, I'm part of the problem. Part of the problem, you know, but hey man, the early days of Tinder were great. What can I say? But a person with body count in double digits who has had diseases, it's not worth it. It's never worth it, you know. We all knew it wasn't worth it at the time. I was just kind of riding the wave. And also, like I said, the Obama administration, I thought we were going in a different direction. And now that I look back at it, I'm like, of course we weren't, you stupid. You stupid. Like, of course we were going in, like, how did you not? Yeah. And now that we're here, the holy year of truth 2025. Yeah, I'm just flabbergasted, to be honest. I'll be flabbergasted. But it's okay. It's okay to still be confused. I realize, you know, maybe a lot of the 30-year-olds that I was looking up to, well, not really looking up to, but just kind of like, how did you survive? You know, I mean, they were probably just as confused as I am right now. And I'm not 30 yet, but you know, we're basically there. I'm basically Unk, you know. I'm Unkified. We are not little Lucas no more. So with that, guys, I'd say, you know, just live your life the best you can. Next time we'll be fighting that bitch ass bot over on top on Utopia. It's a pretty hard boss, so hopefully I don't die thousands of times. I do love you. I hope you subscribe. Remember the tales of woes. Remember the friends and foes. Open your heart. People will come back. People will stay. Who gives a fuck? But those relationships are really what's worth it. Really what we're doing it for. What we're grinding for. So grind hard, grind fast, man. Who gives a fuck? And make it last. Okay, subscribe. I'm out of here because I'm doing too many weird things on the mic. Okay. Peace out, guys. Subscribe.
Bunch of tank top, nappy headed bike stealing, shadow boys. None of my niggas ain't had no dad. None of my niggas ain't had no choice. JJ, Mikey, Lil Derek, and them. 79th Street was America then. Ice cream truck in the beauty supply. Block with some movies and hoes again.